Yeah, please let me know on the group in case I don't realize. But I'm assuming that might be a bit more issues. I've connected to my phone now, so we'll see if that improves things. Uh, yeah, you can all hear me. Hopefully, you can see. Yeah, stop share, so you can see the screen. Okay, so where did I stop? I've lost my thought. Dhama'ir wasn't it? There. Okay, so we have. Um, So we said the word dhama'ir is a broken plural. Okay. So now when it comes to pronouns, we have two types of pronouns. What are they? Dhamir muttasil and dhamir munfasil. Okay. Muttasil, if you know the word ittisal, is to do with connection. Okay. So dhamir muttasil is an attached pronoun. Dhamir munfasil is a detached pronoun. Okay, I'm going to keep checking. Hopefully, I haven't disconnected. Okay, so now these are the two types of pronouns you have to absolutely memorize, know it inside out. And really, I can't stress how important these pronouns. More important, maybe as important as the Muslim chart. You have to really, I can't stress it enough. Please learn this chart if you haven't already learned it. So today we're not going to be memorizing it, but we're going to go through a few things regarding these pronouns. But what you need to know is you need to know the detached pronoun. You need to know which is the attached version that goes with it. And then you need to know the meaning. Okay. If you know the meaning, then you don't need to know whether it's singular, dual, plural. That will come with the meaning. Okay. So the two types of pronouns are detached pronouns and attached pronouns. What do we mean by detached pronouns? We mean pronouns. So question is, if you have a group of male and females, would you use the hum or hunna? Is that preference? Yeah, it's usually the plural masculine version. So hum. Yeah. So hum or antum would normally include, so like in Quran, when it only mentions the hum version, most of the time it also includes the feminine as well. So yeah. Yeah, that was I was going to mention that as we go along. Okay. So detached pronoun and attached pronoun. So what do we mean by detached? Meaning it's not connected to anything. It's not attached to the ism. It's not attached to anything at all, even a verb. It's found by itself. And the list of these pronouns are in the first column: huwa, huma, hum; hiya, huma, hunna; anta, antuma, antum; anti, antuma, antunna; ana, nahnu. So the first six are third person. What do we mean by third person?
They are present.
Yeah, so you're talking about someone who's not present, okay? Whereas second person is someone who is present. So anta, antuma, antum; anti, antuma, antunna. So there's six different ways that you can say you, right? You when you're referring to one person, you when you're referring to two people, you when you're referring to many, and then the feminine version as well. So there's six different ways depending on who you're going to be talking to. Okay, and then you have ana nahnu, which is the first person, meaning the one who's speaking is the first person. So you have to learn huwa huma hum, and I need it to be really quick. Huwa huma hum, hiya huma hunna, anta antuma antum, anti antuma antunna, ana nahnu. That's the first step. Memorize it like that. Second step is mix it up a bit, and you say, for example, hunna, they feminine. Ana, I. Huwa, he. Mix it up and try and test yourself with the meaning, and that's where your flashcards come in. Okay. Now, pronouns are isms. So when do you think you use a pronoun? So what's the role of a pronoun? It just, yeah, a noun. Yeah. So you, instead of repeating, saying, Ikhlas went to the masjid, Ikhlas prayed his salah. Instead of repeating the name, you replace the name with the pronoun. So Ikhlas went to the masjid, he was praying his salah, for example. Okay, so the role of a pronoun is that it replaces a noun. So we establish pronouns are isms, which means what? It has 4 things that you need to know. What are they? Case ending, number, gender, type. So let's leave case ending for the time being. And yeah, Faisal?
Just a quick one. You know the attached pronoun. Do some of them
Yeah.
appear as suffixes at the end of a word, and some of them
Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna go through attached pronouns in a moment, inshallah.
okay, no problem.
Yeah, so let's try and wrap up the detached pronouns, and inshallah we will come on to the attached pronouns very shortly. So detached pronouns, we have, so let's leave the case ending. We said number. So for example, huwa, singular. Hum is plural. Ana is singular. Anta is singular. So if you know the meaning, you will know the number of it. Gender, again, if you know the meaning, if you've learned the chart, you will know hiya is feminine, huwa is masculine, and so on. Type, they are one of the 7 types which are definite. So pronouns are definite, which leaves us with what? Case ending. So when you look at huwa, when you look at huma, when you look at hum, hiya, they all end with different harakas. Huwa ends with a fatha, huma ends with a sukoon, hum ends with a sukoon, nahnu ends with a dhamma, anti ends with a kasra. So you can't use your normal way of stating or figuring out the case ending by saying if it has a dhamma, it's going to be rafa, if it has a fatha, it's going to be nasb, if it has a kasra, it's going to be jar. When it comes to pronouns, you take a different approach to case ending. And to simplify it, I know it's mentioned something else. I want you to, for now, say that all detached pronouns, which is huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, and so on, all of them are rafa. Okay? So your case ending for huwa is rafa, huma is rafa, hum is rafa, anta is rafa, and so on. There's a different term used in the book, but for now, I want you to say all of them are rafa. So you don't look at the haraka at the end. What you look at for pronouns is it attached or is it detached? If it's detached, it's going to be rafa. If it's attached, your answer is going to be nasb or jar based on the context. And once we learn the reasons. So I don't want you to look at anti and you see kasra at the end and you say it's jar. Or you look at nahnu and you see there's a dhamma at the end and you say rafa. What are you going to do when there's a sukoon at the end? Antum. What are you going to say then? So the rule is all detached pronouns are rafa and all attached pronouns are either nasb or jar. And when we come on to the reasons, it makes sense, inshallah. Okay, is everyone clear on detached pronouns? Where do we find detached pronouns? You find them detached, meaning you find them on their own. They're not attached to anything. Whereas attached pronoun, the meaning or the word itself, attached pronoun, is telling you that it's going to be attached to something. Now, what is it going to be attached to? What kind of words? How many words in Arabic do we have? 3. Ism, fi'al, and harf. So you will find the attached pronoun, which is an ism. It can be attached to an ism, it can be attached to a fi'al, and it can be attached to a harf. Which is why I keep stressing that we learn this, because you're going to see this everywhere. It's going to be attached to the ism or the fi'al or the harf. Now the question is, where is it going to be attached? Is it going to be attached in the beginning of the ism, beginning of the fi'al, beginning of the harf, or at the end? And the answer is at the end. So you're going to see all of these pronouns. We're going to go through them in a moment, but you will find them attached to the end of the ism the end of the fi'l and the end of the harf. Just make sure everyone's following. Yeah. Okay. Right. So now comes on to looking at each one. So I want you to ignore what's in the bracket for the time being, and I'm going to go through that in a moment. What I want you to look at is just the huwa and the who. So the detached pronoun is huwa, and the meaning of huwa is he. Usually with the pronoun, the detached pronoun, when you translate it by itself, you say he, but when it is in a sentence, usually it is he is, they are, she is, you are, I am, we are. So on its own, you just say huwa means huwa means he, but when it's in a sentence, usually the word is or are or am comes after it. So the meaning of huwa is he, huma is they, they but meaning referring to two people, and hum is they but plural. Here is she, huma is they again for two, and hunna is they. Anta is you, antuma is both of you, antum is all of you. So when you see this alif, antuma, huma, you know it's referring to two. And then anti, antuma, antunna, ana means I. The easiest one is probably ana, I, and nahnu, we. So try and learn them with the meaning. And nahnu includes if you're saying us two or us three or more. Okay. Now, as you learn that, I want you to learn it like this as well. Huwa is the detached pronoun. The attached pronoun is who. So you say huwa becomes who. Huma becomes huma. Hum becomes hum. So you see, huma, detached pronoun, is exactly same as the attached. Hum and hum, exactly the same. So how would you know in the sentence that you're reading whether it's a detached pronoun or an attached pronoun? Yeah, exactly. So if it's detached, you know it's detached. If it's attached to the end of the ism or the fi'l or the harf, you know that it's going to be an attached pronoun, even though it looks exactly the same. Okay, so the way I want you to learn it is huwa becomes hu, huma becomes huma, hum becomes hum, hiya becomes ha, huma becomes huma, hunna becomes hunna. And when it comes to these six, the next for antuma, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, what's really happening is you're dropping the an from each one, right? And you're replacing the ta with a ka. So it becomes ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna. So if that's another way of remembering it. Drop the an and replace the ta with a ka. So it becomes ka, kuma, kum, ki, kuma, kunna. Okay? So learn it like that. And the attached version of ana is the ya. So in terms of pronouncing it, just say e, and nahnu is na. Okay? So learn it like that. Learn it like huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, and then learn it the other way. Huwa becomes hu, huma becomes huma, and so on. Okay? Now, what is in the brackets? So you've got he, hima, him, and then hima and hinna. So sometimes, based on pronunciation, it wouldn't sound right to say, let me put this on there. So let me just test you guys, and you tell me when it sounds right to say who, and when does it sound right to say he. It's more of a pronunciation thing. So let me, if it opens. So you guys tell me which one sounds better. Because this is more relevant when we start putting words together. Okay, so we've got the word kitab. What's the meaning of the word kitab? book, right? Now I'm gonna attach. So I want to say his book. We're gonna learn this when we do the fragments. So kitabuhu means his book. Okay. Now, if I change the haraka on the ba and I say kitabahu, does it sound okay? Is it normal? It can be. It might be tricking you guys, but you tell me if it sounds okay. Yeah, it sounds normal. If you read a lot of Quran, you will know this is normal. Okay? Kitabahu is normal. Now tell me. It doesn't sound right. Yeah? Immediately, for someone who reads Arabic or reads Quran, you know that kitabihu sounds really wrong. So it's more of a so either you're gonna know it by how it sounds, or you just apply the rule that if there's a kasra before it, kitabi, you're gonna say kitabihi. You're not gonna say kitabihu. Or kitabuhum, you're gonna say kitabihim. Okay, same with the rest. Or you see, for example, if I say there's a harf called fi, which means in, and I want to say in it, and I want to attach who to it. Am I gonna say fihu or fihi? Which one have you heard before?
فيه.
Fihi. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه. Right? So instead of saying fihu, you're gonna say fihi. Okay, so the rule here is if the ha, so the ha in the who and the huma and the hum and the hunna and the huma, not the ha, in these five, if you have before it a kasra, the letter has a kasra on it, or there's a ya with a sukoon before it, you're gonna put a kasra on the ha. Okay? So you're not gonna say kitabihu, you're gonna say kitabihi, and you're not gonna say fihu, you're gonna say fihi. So it's more of this is something that you'll pick over time. Okay? So the ones that I want you to learn is the who, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna, and just appreciate sometimes who will be he, and hima, huma will be hima, hum will be him, and hunna sometimes will be hinna. Now the meanings of the attached pronouns I do not want to go into. So the meanings that you have here are mainly for the detached pronouns. The meaning of the attached pronoun is very similar. It's based on how it's used. So later on, in the example of kitabihi, the meaning of who there is his. Sometimes it might mean something else. But the meaning will be there. He, his, she, hers. So it depends on the context. So we'll go through the meanings of where has it gone? The attached pronouns later. But try and learn these meanings for now. Okay. Let me see if I'm missing anything. So here in this box here, it's given you a slightly different way of looking at it. Is because pronouns are mabni. So you describe them differently. But I don't want to go into that for now. This is more advanced. I just want you to say or acknowledge detached pronouns are all rafa, and attached pronouns are either going to be nasb or jar. Keep it as simple as that. Okay. Right. One more thing. Huwa and here, if it's referring to a non-living thing, what do you think the meaning will be? Yeah. So huwa means he or it, and here means she or it. So it hasn't given you the meaning there. You can insert the meaning there, put a slash and put it in both of them. So huwa can mean he or it. Hiya can mean she or it. And there's an extra meaning for here also. What do you think that extra meaning might be for here? Think about the rule about irrational plurals.
Z for,
So sometimes, yeah,
I'm just trying. Is it for,
yeah,
I mean, irrational, like you said,
yeah.
can be used in place of things like semi and all of that when you want to repeat it?
That's one thing, but what would the meaning of here be if you're referring to an irrational plural? Because remember, irrational plurals are treated as singular feminine. So meaning you're going to be using the word here for irrational plurals.
Yeah.
They, yeah. So that's another meaning. So here, the original meaning of here is she or it, but if you're referring to an irrational plural, you're not going to say she is pens. You're going to say they are pens. Really doesn't make sense for you to say they are pens. You say these are pens, but in some words, in some contexts, you can use here. So here can also mean they. So whenever you come across a singular feminine word like this here, or allati that we did last time, ism mawsul, know that they can also have the plural meaning when it's referring to an irrational plural. That's a bit extra at the moment. But as a minimum, learn the meaning that is there, and just remember that huwa and hiya, when they're referring to a non-living thing, you'd say it is the meaning. Okay? And that kind of completes pronouns. Anyone have any questions on pronouns? I think you might have an exercise with it, but let me check if you have an exercise. No, so this is an exercise on type. Let me see if you got something on pronouns. Yeah, so here, I this is an exercise that you can skip, but if you want to attempt it, please attempt it. When it comes to mabni words, what did we say about mabni words? How do you describe them? You describe them by the ending. Okay, so for example, you got the word ana. What would you say mabni ala? Yeah, so the alif has a sukoon on it. So mabni ala sukoon, and you say fi mahalli raf'in. So remember, we said detached pronouns are rafa, and attached pronouns are nasb or jar. So if it's going to be rafa, you just say fi mahalli raf. And again, this is quite an advanced thing. I don't really want to go into that. But same again, let's just, for those who are going to attempt it, ki, you say mabni ala. Anyone online? What would you say? Mabni ala?
كسرة.
Kasra. And fi mahalli? Yeah, nasb or jar. Because it's a attached pronoun, you'd say fi mahalli nasb or jar. The meaning, using this term, it's okay, but it's just too advanced at the moment. The meaning is very similar. Rafa, nasb and jar is okay as well. Just use those terms for now. You don't need to use the term fi mahalli, but for the sake of the exercises, pronouns, just appreciate and remember that pronouns are mabni, meaning huwa will always be huwa. It will never change. Huma will always be huma. Hum will always be hum. So those words are fixed. And that all of them are rafa if they are detached, and nasb or jar if it's attached. Okay. Right. Anyone have any questions before we do the last thing, or one of the last things?
The
This
mahalli,
is
what does it mean? Mahalli.
Fi mahalli just means in the place of raf.
Yes. Okay.
In the place of raf, yeah. Because you can't, for mabni words, you can't directly say rafa, nasb, and jar. That's the issue. You have to describe them in a different way. So you describe them by the ending. So you say fi mahalli fatha, mabni ala fatha, and then really fi mahalli in the place of it being rafa. That's what it's just saying. It's just another way of describing it. That's all. So for now, I just want you to say rafa, nasb, and jar, and you wouldn't be wrong. Right, two things. Okay. To call someone in Arabic, you use the letter ya. Okay. That ya you call is called harfun nida, which means the particle of nida means calling. So the particle of calling is ya. So ya is used to call someone, and when you call someone using ya, the thing that you're calling becomes definite. Because now when you're saying ya, if I say ya ikhlas, it's making it specific now. So I know who I'm calling. So that person that I'm calling or that thing that I'm calling becomes definite. And what happens as a result? It loses the tanween. And I think I just need to double check what happens if it's yeah, I'll double check what happens when it's dual and plural. I'm sure you lose the noon sound completely. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yes.
Unless you, yeah. I know
Yeah.
with the singular you lose the tanween, but when it comes with the plural, usually you use the word ya ayyu, ya ayyuhal muslimun. I'll double check that one. Leave that with me. So for now, with ya, you're just dropping the tanween. Okay, so Muhammadun becomes ya Muhammadu. Okay. So that's one reason for a word to be definite. And then the other one was when we add an al. What happens when we add the al? Here, we know that it's only the tanween that is affected, not the noon of the dual and not the noon of the plural. So if you look at the chart here, Muslimun became al-Muslimu, but Muslimani remained, the noon remained. So it's al-Muslimani. And the al, we said, what's the meaning of al? The. Okay. Al-Muslimu, al-Muslimani, al-Muslimuna. So the only time where the tanween is going to drop is in the singular and in the feminine plural. So Muslimatun becomes al-Muslimatu, al-Muslimati, and al-Muslimati. Okay. Any questions regarding the word al? No? All right. So now this really just leaves us with one discussion regarding the word al. And I know I keep saying if you read Quran, this becomes very easy. So this is about the word al, or more specifically, the lam in the al. Okay. So sometimes when we're adding an al to a word, for example, the word let's just do, let me write it here. All right. So if you look at the difference, or let me just add the harakas on that. Okay. So if I remove the al, you would say qamarun and you would say shamsun. Okay. Now I've added the word al to qamar and I've added the word al to the word shams. But what is the difference between this one and this one?
Shadda.
Yeah. Anyone get that online?
Yeah. Shadda.
Shadda, yeah. Ashamsu, Al-Qamar.
Yeah.
Lam is pronounced in the first one.
Yeah. So in Al-Qamar, you pronounce the lam in Al-Qamar. So in Al-Qamar, the lam of the al is pronounced, whereas in Shams, the lam is written, but it's not pronounced. So you assimilate it into the first letter. So this brings up about the discussion of Qamari letters versus Shamsi letters. So there are lunar letters, Qamari, and there are solar letters. Lunar letters meaning you pronounce the lam of the al. Solar letters, you don't pronounce it. You write it, but you don't pronounce it. So it's written with a shadda. So how do I know whether it's going to be al-qamar and not al-qamaru? How do I know that this is, how do I know that is incorrect versus that? You have to learn which letters are lunar, which letters are solar. Now, one way to kind of figure this out is words. So this comes down to a bit of tajweed. You haven't started tajweed yet, have you? Yeah. So you can you can maybe use this as a rule. So for Shamsi letters, the tip or the blade of the tongue is involved. So if you have the tongue hitting the teeth to pronounce the letter, like dal, ta, dha, ra, or the sides of the tongue, then most likely it's going to be a Shamsi letter. Whereas if it's a letter that comes from the lips or comes from the throat, then most likely it's going to be a Qamari letter. Or you just learn them. Okay, that's one way of figuring it out, but there's a list here. At-tajiru, ta, tha, dal, dha. Most of these letters are coming as a result of the tip of the tongue touching the teeth. Okay? Or like dad stemming from the side of the tongue. Whereas the Qamari letters, ba, or then you've got the letters of the throat stemming from the throat, those are going to be your Qamari. So you say al-abu, al-babu, not abbabu, al-jannatu, al-himaru, al-khubzu, al-ainu, and so on. There's no easy way. You just have to learn and be corrected as you go along. So, but realize that there are letters which are Qamari, letters which are Shamsi. And if I ask you, what do we mean by a Qamari letter and a Shamsi letter? What would you say? So whether you pronounce the lam and the al or you don't pronounce it. In al-qamar, so qamari, al-qamar, you pronounce the lam in the al. And in ash-shams, you don't pronounce the lam in those words. But you write it. It doesn't mean you miss it out. It's written, but not pronounced. Okay? Any questions on that from anyone? So again, this is more to do with, again, pronunciation. Again, this will come with time. The more reading we do, you will just, your ears will get tuned and you'll know that kitabuhu sounds okay, kitabihu sounds wrong, al-tajir sounds wrong, at-tajir sounds correct, al-jannatu sounds right, al-jannatu sounds incorrect, and so on. Again, with time, you'll pick that up. Okay, so that's Suna, Luna, and Solar letters. and there's only one thing that's left to cover. And I think I'm going to probably cover that next time. So next time I'll do a bit of this, and then we'll do some sentences, and then inshallah we can do that extra session of reading once we've done the simple sentences section. Well, let's do maybe some exercises so that we have an idea. Let's go through. Let's do some of this. So this exercise here, you're gonna first of all tell me whether it's definite versus indefinite, and then give your reason. So for example, the word Hamza is definite, and the reason is because it is a proper noun or proper name. So let's do a bit of this, and then we'll do this exercise where we go through the case ending number gender type. So let's do a couple of this, and then we'll move on. For your reason for definite, you just like for example. Yeah, you can say tanween or just say no reason for it to be definite. So let's do the first. Let's do a mix. So number 2, as-sayyara is definite because of the al. Okay. Hadha, this, definite because it is a hadha is not a detached pronoun. It's a pointer. Yeah. Ismul ishara. So it's one of the 7 things which are considered definite. Okay, the word America. Anyone online? America, is that definite or is it indefinite?
Is it definite because it's a proper name?
Yeah, proper name, proper noun. And let's just do one more. Jannatin, number 7. Jannatin. Is it definite or is it indefinite?
Is it indefinite?
Indefinite. And the reason is?
Because we assume it's indefinite unless it fits one of the 7 categories.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no reason for it to be definite. Good, Ahsant. So now, just to kind of summarize type, like we summarized gender, we said all words are masculine unless you find a reason to make it feminine, and the most common way to find a feminine word is a term or buta at the end. Same way with type, all words are indefinite unless you find a reason to make it definite. And the most common way to find a definite word is if it has an al in the beginning. And the most common way to find an indefinite word is if it has a tanween at the end. So like and in. Unless it is already considered definite. So for example, it's not on there, but the word Muhammadun, the word Muhammad ends with a tanween. Muhammadun. So we said the most common way to figure out whether something is definite or indefinite is if it has an al or a tanween. Al means definite, tanween means indefinite. But Muhammadun is not indefinite because it is a proper name. Even though it's got a tanween at the end, it is still definite. All right. Now, for the last maybe 5 5 to 10 minutes. Now we're bringing everything together that we've done so far. Case ending, number, gender, type, and remember the rule regarding irrational plurals. You treat them as singular feminine. So let's put a circle on number 1, the ones that I want you to do for now. Number 1, do the word number 4. So number 1, number 4, number 6. So number 1, number 4, number 6, number 11, and 19. So please remember them because I may forget. So what were the numbers? Number 1? Yeah.
1,
Okay.
4, 6, 11,
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. So let's do them in class. So case ending, number, gender, and type. Jazakallah khair. 1, 4, 6, 11, 19. So let's do them before we finish today. And inshallah, next time we're gonna start making some sentences, and then more reading will come with that, inshallah. So let's do the first one together, and then inshallah the rest will come. So number 1, mudarrisun. Is it rafa, is it nasb, or is it jar? And if you want, you can write the reasoning or just note the reasoning somewhere. So mudarrisun has a
Rafa.
ending. Rafa, yeah. And the number?
Singular.
Singular. Gender?
Male. Masculine.
Masculine. And type? Is it definite or is it indefinite? Indefinite. Yeah, there's no reason to make it definite. So that's your number 1 done. Next one was number 4. Okay, ready for number 4? Case ending, is it rafa, is it nasb, or is it jar? Rafa because of the una ending. Number, plural. Masculine. And is it
Indefinite.
definite or indefinite?
Indefinite.
Indefinite.
Yeah, indefinite. Good. So those 2 were the easy ones. Then we move on. Was it number 6? Okay, let's do number 6. Give you a minute, and we'll go through number 6. Okay, عيون. So let's do the case ending first. عيون, case ending would be
Jar.
jar because of the in ending, right? Just like Muslimin, عيون. Now, the number, what would you say the number is? Yeah. So it's plural, but it's treated as singular feminine. So that's your number and that's your gender. Singular feminine. So it's jar, it's singular, it's feminine, and it is definite or indefinite?
Indefinite.
Indefinite. But I want you to put somewhere, or at least have it in your mind. It is singular, but it is actually plural in meaning, but it's treated as singular. So the answer is singular feminine, but you still translate it as plural. So just because you're treating it as singular feminine doesn't mean it becomes singular. Okay. Okay, just make sure for online students that if you're not talking, make sure your mics are off, inshallah. What number was next? Was it 11? Yeah. So number 11, which is huwa, which is it damir muttasil or damir munfasil? Muttasil meaning attached, munfasil meaning detached.
Munfasil.
Munfasil, detached pronoun.
No.
So now let's go through huwa. Is it rafa, is it nasb, or is it jar?
Rafa.
Rafa, because it is a detached pronoun. So you don't look at the fatha and say it's nasb. You say huwa is a detached pronoun, so it's going to be rafa. Is it singular, dual, or plural?
Singular.
Singular.
Singular and masculine. If you know the meaning of huwa, which means he or he is, you know it's going to be singular, you know it's going to be masculine, and the type is going to be
Definite.
definite because it's one of the 7.
Mm.
All right, and the last one now. We've got a minute. So let's go through the word Jahannam. Jahannamu. Okay. Now Jahannamu, is it rafa, is it nasb, or is it jar? It's got a u ending, which means it's going to be
Rafa.
rafa. And the meaning will tell you that it is
Feminine.
singular. Yeah.
Feminine.
And is it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
It's feminine.
Feminine. Why is it feminine?
Because it's one of the words Arab.
Exactly. Yeah, this is mu'annath sama'i. So it's feminine because the Arabs have said so. That's how they've used it. So Jahannam, although there's no apparent sign, there's no ta marbuta at the end, it's not a body part which comes in a pair. It is one of the types of words which are the Arabs have used as feminine. So it's feminine because of that. And it is it definite or is it indefinite?
Indefinite.
Yeah. So here someone might say Jahannam. There's no al, but there's no tanween either. Why doesn't the word Jahannam have a tanween at the end? Yes. Can someone tell me why the word Jahannam doesn't have a tanween at the end? Always question the ending, and there's always a reason. Why has it got a fatha at the end? Why has it got a kasra at the end? Why there's no tanween? Why is there no noon sound? Why has that happened? Always ask, and then you'll always find the answer, or look for the answer at least. Jahannam. What type of word have we learned where the noon sound drops?
When you add an al to
Anyone remember declension?
oh
Yeah. Words which can't take a kasra and words which can't take a tanween. Partly declinable words.
non
Yeah. So not So you have words which are fully declinable, and then you have words which are non-declinable, then you have words which are in between, where they can only, like the word Ibrahim, Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. So Jahannam is one of those words which is partly declinable, can't take a tanween, can't take a kasra. Jahannamu, Jahannama, Jahannama. So sometimes you just have to learn. It might not fall in one of the categories that you've learned. There are many more categories that we will learn, and there are some words which you just have to know that they are partly declinable. Okay, inshallah. So your homework is basically these two pages, 12, 13. If you want to try 14, you can. But next week, we're going to be wrapping up the section here. Again, this is more about pronunciation. And then we're going to go through simple sentences. At that point, after that, we'll start the extra half-an-hour session of reading. And then we've got the verbs. And by the time we get to the verbs, which is not next lesson, the lesson after, you need to have learnt your pronouns. So here you see we're using the pronouns. So you need to know your pronouns by that lesson. Yeah, so we do the past and the present tense. Okay, so it's pretty early that we do the verbs. Yeah, okay. So we're going to make a start on the verbs very soon as well. Okay, inshallah we'll stop here. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.
That's